Hello, welcome back. Tactical Tuesday with Johnny Tiger on August 9, 2022. So, you may be wondering, how come I'm not in any uniform today? Well, there's several reasons. Number one, we have to kind of make this one short and sweet because I got to go to the airport to pick Kitten up afterward. Also, it is kind of hot and uncomfortable. And third, perhaps the most valid reason, at least what I am using as the most valid excuse, is you need to be able to see my elbow. And I think all of my uniform, all of my gear, and other outfit are long sleeves, which means the elbow is not necessarily very visible. So building off of what we talked about last self-defense episode, when I mentioned to you guys about the little rhyme that will help you improve your elbow strike. The little rhyme goes, a skip and lunge make the elbow big. Proper bend, open hand makes the elbow penetrate. So we already talked about the importance of adding that footwork, the little skipping, the lunging into your elbow strike. Today we're going to talk about angles and keeping your hand open. First, why is it important to keep your hand open when you're throwing elbow strike? There's several factors. One is when you clench your fist and when you're hitting with your elbow, a lot of time you are activating all your forearm muscles by keeping your fist closed, which means you're not going to get that very good big elbow angle. You're not going to bend your arm as much as if your hands were relaxed. Also, by relaxing your hand, you make sure that you allow the muscle to withdraw away from the bone of your elbow. Right? So when you hit the person, it's going to be bone making the contact rather than a meaty thud with your muscles cushioning the blow. Okay? Having muscle is a great thing, but when you're throwing elbows, you want it to be as bony as possible. Also, the constant act of keeping your fist clenched does drain energy. So when you're not actively punching, there's really no point keeping your fist clenched. In fact, a lot of time, if you slow things down, if you really run things on slow motion, and look at my hand when I'm sparring or fighting, the only time I actually make a fist and punch is the moment before I hit with a punch. A lot of time I relax my hand. My hands are either just like lazily curled, or I open out my hands for grabbing or palm striking or chopping or stabbing. So that's why uh, relaxing your hand is a big part of making the elbow really as penetrating as possible. Now, a lot of time when you are doing kind of MMA, kind of sparring and stuff like that, you tend to keep your fist clenched the whole time. Or if you're using boxing glove, well, you can't really open up your hand anyway. But it's still okay to just relax your fist, relax your hand, so your elbow can work properly. Now, alongside with keeping your hand relaxed and open, the next big secret in throwing that penetrating, hard elbow strike is the proper angle. A lot of time, when people throw elbow strike, it goes like boom, and from the back, it looks almost like an elbow strike. But if you look at where it's making contact, boom, okay? The first part that make contact is actually my forearm. So it's more like a forearm strike than an elbow strike. This is when, this is why a lot of people get smashed with someone's elbow strike and they don't actually get injured or it doesn't hurt that much. Because you're smacking them with your forearm rather than the actual elbow. Even though it looks like an elbow strike, it's not an elbow strike. So what's going on here? Most of the time, it's when you rush your elbow strike. Okay? So what's happening is I throw a 1 and a 2 and a right elbow, but because I rush that elbow, I'm not bringing my hand back, exposing my elbow, and then boom into it. Okay, I'm doing this 1, 2, and then just let my arm lazily collapse into myself as I move forward, and I hit the person with my forearm. So takes that extra millisecond to actually retract your hand to your ear, open your hand, exposing your elbow before going for the elbow strike, right? Don't just collapse into it, right? Your arm should be past 90-degree bend. If you are 90 degree or less, most likely you'll just hit the person with your forearm. It's not going to do as well as an elbow strike. That is the first uh, important factor in having the proper bend. Is a bend in your arm. Next, it is also important to have the proper bend in your body. When we throw an elbow strike, a lot of time people do this when they're hitting the punching bag. Okay? It's great on the punching bag. But punching bag is not hitting you back. And you are rocking the bag, so you feel like you're hitting it really hard, but it's actually not that bad. If you hit an actual person like that, it all it does is piss them off. Why? Because you're not bending your torso. You're keeping your chest puffed up, your back is straight. So when you throw your elbow, the only thing driving it is your swing with your shoulder and arm. Okay? So even if you have the proper bend in your arm, this is kind of weak. Okay? Let me show you guys something. If I stand upright, like a lot of people do when they throw their elbow, okay, and I hold my elbow out like this, and I take my other hand, I just shove my elbow. See how easy that for my body to stagger because I'm not grounded properly. Okay, so if you want that elbow to actually penetrate and do damage, you need to bend a little bit forward, tighten up your ab, set your shoulder forward, set your elbow in the right position. So when you're a little bit forward leaned like this, when someone pushes your elbow, it's not going anywhere. Right? Your body is not going anywhere because now you're properly grounded. Everything is aligned. So you need to have this proper bend in your body when you throw that elbow forward. Don't just do it from the standing up position because you're not well grounded. Your elbow will be quite weak. Before I leave you, just a quick, once again, reminder, little skip and a lunge. Make your elbow big. Open hand, proper bend. Make your elbow penetrate. Remember those four little details and have fun throwing devastating elbow strikes. Now I must go to the airport to pick up the love of my life. I'll see you guys on the flip side when we come back for some Wisdom Wednesday tomorrow. For now, have a good night.